Hey everyone, how are you? I'm the Devious Diva and I am here with John.
How we doing, guys?
And we wanted to talk briefly with you about the Chucky TV series and also the YouTube channel or show, which is Chucky Talks, which stars Christine Elise and Alex Vincent. And then I'll get into the whole celebrity that was rude thing. But first of all, we'll talk about the Chucky TV series. First, I'll ask you, what do you think of it? And then I'll go on at the bit about what I think.
I just thought that it was way too hyped. It was just way too hyped. To me, it wasn't as interesting as everybody wanted to say it was, and it was just okay. Nothing crazy, nothing major, nothing that was all too exciting.
I would agree with that. My problems with it, it's not that the writing's bad. It's not that any of it's bad to have the original cast come back. I think my biggest complaint, while I think it is a good TV show, that I think if you love the Chucky series, meaning the franchise, you might like the TV show. I also think if you have kids, it might be a good show for you, or if you are a kid. But my biggest problem probably is that it is geared towards kids. I don't want to see Chucky with middle schoolers. I think that is my biggest complaint. I think that it's a decent show. I think that Don Mancini, he is the writer, so he does write a good series. He does write a good franchise. I'm just not sure that this is the type of show that I could see going on for 5 years, 10 years. So I think it's okay. I think that there's certain things that are good about it. There's certain good, certain bad. But I think it's not so much having the reoccurring cast. It's the fact that it is middle school age kids dealing with Chucky. When I think of Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler, I think of a guy who can't wait to make his next killing. He doesn't want to hang out with middle schoolers. He doesn't want to sing We Got the Beat. He doesn't care about Five or Under. He doesn't give a shit about that. And the only reason he was with Andy Barclay is because he's given that gift, Child's Play. Mm-hmm. Chucky is the gift he's given. Chucky doesn't care. He's using this kid to take him places, like to go kill his partner, Eddie Caputo, and then he finds out he needs to go into his soul, into his body. So he's using that kid as a conduit, if you will. Otherwise, he doesn't care about Andy. And as that franchise goes on, Andy gets older, as you made a point about.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't sit there. He doesn't continue to stay 6. He's not that young kid anymore, and obviously as the movies go on, he gets older. I know they don't have him, Alex Vincent, in the third movie. They play somebody else to accelerate the age, if you will. And then, Bride and Seed and Curse and Cult, he's more of his adult self. He's not that 6-year-old kid anymore.
No, he's not. And so at that point, Chucky just cares about going after him because Andy's getting in his way somehow, or the other thing is that feeling of, you know what, I let this kid survive. He's not dead. It's not complete. That completion anxiety that Mika talks about in Curse of Chucky. So that's really what that is. So I like the Chucky series in certain ways. Again, I think if you're a parent, if you're a kid, if you just love the franchise and you say, you know what, this is great writing to me, it's a great, horror/TV show, I do get it. But for me, for us, the problem why it's tedious is, and we don't have children, I will say, I don't relate to Chucky, who's a killer, hanging out, corrupting kids. He just doesn't care. He cares about killing people, but he doesn't care about corrupting your kid.
And since when does he want to just have these, teenage kids do his bidding? Since when does that actually happen? Other than recently, apparently. He always wanted to either kill the people in his way, or he wanted to get into Andy's soul, so he could become that at the time the younger kid. He doesn't want to hang out with kids.
Exactly. I think
he's in his 40s probably by now. How many 40-year-olds I don't want to hang out with kids.
I feel like, because Brad Dourif said this, he said, my thoughts on Chucky, obscurity. He doesn't want to be in obscurity. Mm-hmm. So I feel what he means by that is he wants to live on. He doesn't want to die. Mm. And that's true. When you see Bride of Chucky and he's brought back, he's ready to find another body to jump into. He doesn't want to die. Other than that, killing and wanting to live, those are like the two things.
Those are his hobbies.
That's his hobbies. And honestly, even Jennifer Tilly, or Tiffany Valentine is expendable in his mind. You know, it is really just about his murderous appetite, and it is not about her. It's not about any of them. No, that's just an opinion.
And everybody's got one, and I wholeheartedly agree. I don't see the excitement in it. It was an okay show. It was fun to watch. Mm-hmm. But I won't sit there and say, I got to see it again.
Absolutely not.
I don't, you know, it was okay. I'll go and rewatch a couple episodes here and there because they were somewhat entertaining, but at the same time, it wasn't anything crazy. To me, it wasn't as good as everybody hyped it up to be.
I agree with that. Now, the other rumor with season 2 of the Chucky series is they're going to bring back Chris Sarandon and Catherine Hicks from the first movie, the Child's Play movie. Do you think that will save it or no? And I just want to say that this was supposed to be, instead of a TV series, it was going to be one more movie made of Chucky that was going to have Chris Sarandon, Catherine Hicks, Alex Vincent, Christina Elise, all of those characters from the past were going to come back, but in a movie that completes it all instead of a series. So I don't know, do you think that is redeeming or makes it any better by having the original cast members in the TV show?
I would say that it would bring some light to the show, because those were the original people. Obviously, Catherine Hicks is his mother.
Yes.
You know, Sarandon is the police officer that, you know, shoots him in the beginning of the first movie, and then, you know, kind of helps her deal with everything, if you will. So
outside of the mother and Andy, he would love to go after Chris Sarandon's character, the guy who shot him, which then put him into the doll in the first place. But I think that would be a better movie. I think after Cult, a nice reunion movie would have tied it together better than a TV series, I feel.
I think so. I'm not really sure why they're going with the TV aspect. I don't really quite understand that. I would personally continue on with the movies if you're going to do that. But then again, I don't know. To me, yeah, I think. But then again, all the characters, all the older characters, need a little more screen time.
They do. There wasn't a lot of screen time. I agree with that.
No, there was not a lot of screen time for Elise. There was very minimal for Andy Barclay, you know, Alex Vincent, who is the basic main character, even though, you know, when they start these movies out, he's only 6.
Yeah.
So I think that they need to have a little more screen time. Like, you can focus on the whole Tiffany, Chucky, Fiona thing, but at the same time, you need to bring them back. They basically had like little cameos.
I agree.
And this is supposed to be, you know, reminiscent of the movies.
I agree. I mean, I was even scanning when the show came out. What episode are any of them coming back? Jennifer Tilly, didn't matter who. I want to know when were they coming back, and it took a little while, like maybe episode 5 or 6.
Fifth episode, I believe, was when they finally brought them in, and they had very, very, very little time. It was more focused on the kids, and not the original kids, the original casts.
So my next question, I'll get off of that. That's how we feel about the Chucky TV series. But let's talk about Chucky Talks, which is the YouTube channel show that is Christina Elise and Alex Vincent. What did you think? We tuned in for a couple of episodes. What did you think of their
I didn't see Chucky doing very much talking. I didn't see him doing very much talking at all.
No. There's the two of them. It's their show. And
yeah, and there's... You know, if you're going to call it Chucky Talks, where's Brad Dourif?
I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, like, to me, I honestly kind of found it a bore. That's just me.
It was very boring because I would say if any of you watch it, and maybe you will like it, they do have the younger actors from the TV series come on and be interviewed, as you know, and that's probably as interesting as it gets because the kids actually hold their own in the interview and they're funny and they make it interesting. I have nothing against Christina Elise. I think that she has a quick wit. She can be funny at times. Outside of Child's Play, I knew her from Beverly Hills 90210 actually. I don't have a problem with her, but I think him and her doing this podcast, YouTube show, whatever you want to call it, it was pretty boring and mundane. You know, they talk about the same stuff they do at conventions on a panel. So Alex Vincent repeatedly tells how he got cast, and she talks about being on the Universal lot where she started for Child's Play 2. But it's very redundant. For him, he seems socially awkward, like kind of doesn't really engage with the camera. He doesn't really crack a smile. He's really like awkward and nervous. She looks comfortable. Christine Elise looks like she can command like the camera and talking and the conversation, and he just looks like he's awkward as hell, and it's kind of being forced. That's just my thoughts as far as that goes.
Yeah, you can tell she's done this before. And if she hasn't really done this before, she definitely looks much more seasoned.
She's not fazed by it. She's kind of leaned like this, and so what do you think? He's like this, and he's just looking away, and
very
we
stiff.
all do it. But, you know, even me, I'm very shy, but I'm not that stoic, and I'm not that frozen when I speak. And
You're
he
not
just,
shy.
It looks very painful.
You're not that shy.
Not when you get to know me.
Stop.
Okay, so the other part of this that people wanted to know, I said there was a celebrity who was rude to me, and now that kind of ties into everything we're talking about. That's Alex Vincent. So do you want to start it, or you want me to start explaining it, which is just a little tidbit?
I'm not really sure what his issue was. He just seems really almost standoffish. Like, he was okay in the beginning talking, and then
I'll start by saying this part about it. We talked via Instagram, and this was during the springtime when it was rumored that there was going to be a Chucky TV series. And I reached out to him in a private message on Instagram, you know, saying I was a fan and excited for the show. I knew he couldn't give spoilers or many details, but it started off amicable and nice, and we were talking back and forth.
Normal.
Just normal.
Like having a conversation with any other human being, which how it should be, because they are just people.
Absolutely.
Just like you, me, and everyone else that's viewing this.
And I can't remember where this all went awry specifically because it was so long ago.
He said something that was a little bit off color. I don't really quite remember why. Like what he had said, or
he did
why, but he kind of went a little bit. I don't know. He just got really upset for some reason, and he said some things that weren't really all that pleasant.
That's what it was. I think that I was asking his advice or picking his brain on something, and he kind of got in his soapbox, and he was being kind of rude. And even though, you know, you're looking at text, so it's different than having a tone to it. I felt kind of hurt, or I felt kind of taken back by the attitude, to which when I confronted him on that, he did backtrack or like double down a little, and he said, I'm sorry.
And then he said, yeah, he apologized as well, and he said, you know, well, hey, everybody has an off day, and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't really know why he had such an issue, but he definitely got upset for pretty much no reason. And then next thing you know, it's, well, basically it's almost like he's too good for you, and that's
just
really
the way of it.
That's not really that's not professional, if you ask me.
So that was the hard part. So through Instagram, you know, we're going back and forth talking amicably. He says something off color and rude. I confront him on it in a nice way. You know, he says, I'm sorry, realizing what he said might not be the best choice words. And then I say, well, you know, I'm sorry too, because I don't want to jump down your throat. You're only human, and maybe I misinterpret the tone and what you're saying. And then it was actually on Twitter where I say, hey, how's it going? Remember me? And he's like, I don't want to talk to you. You're super rude. And then he blocks me. And so I can't respond, and I feel like that is a very immature, unprofessional way to go about things. I just do.
Very original 6-year-old Andy Barkley, if you ask me.
So,
you know, the whole social media blocking thing is kind of childish.
And it's not fair, because it's like, you're super rude, block, so that I can't say something back, clearly. So it's not a very adult way to handle it.
You can't even defend yourself.
I can't defend myself. I can't say, hey, wait a minute, what did I do? Or just ask questions. It's not like I'm going to be vicious or vindictive, but it's just more like, what did I do? You know, he was rude. I took it the wrong way. He was sorry. I was sorry. Then I'm just like, hey, what's going on? Congratulations on your show. And it's like, well, thank you, but you're super rude. And then he just blocks me. And it's like, well, that's a what the fuck kind of moment. Because
I remember when I was 6.
That's what I mean. So that's who was rude to me. And I just want to say to all of you, I get it. You like the franchise. You like the TV show. I know some of you have met him at conventions. And I believe you when you say that he's someone who's kind-hearted, someone who's really friendly. And I'm not saying this to deter you away from any of that, because my experience is my experience. And I still like the movies. I'm not, you know, I don't protest anything because Alex Vincent's in it. I would say that I think he's overrated for the attitude he has. I think it was immature and below the belt, and I just think unnecessary. And I certainly wouldn't watch Chucky Talks with him and Christina Lease just because, you know, if I want that, I'll just use that as a timer to fall asleep to at night. But
if you're going to watch that, you're not watching it for him.
Absolutely not. For her, but not for him. She's the redeeming part of that.
For the younger cast.
For the younger cast members who I think are very good actors, up and coming. I will say that. They do a good performance on the Chucky series, even if it's not my cup of tea. But that's really all my thoughts are, is, you know, sometimes you come across people that are a little bit rude for no reason. I'm sorry, but outside of this TV series and franchise, Alex who? Nobody knows Alex Vincent. That I will say. Nobody knows who this dude is, unless you're in the horror community. And even at that, not everybody knows who he is. So I thought, you know, it's a little bit shitty, but it is what it is. But once again, it doesn't sway a decision. You know, you like what you like. There's a lot of actors that I still watch a movie and can separate the personality from the acting and what they're actually doing. So I'm just venting. It's just a quick video. My opinion on the Chucky TV series and their Chucky Talks YouTube show. Check it out if it's something you're interested in. The younger actors do appear on it. I'm sure he will have Jennifer Tilly and maybe some other favorites. So it might be something you want to check out. So this video isn't just a hate video. It's a if you like it, you know, check it out type of thing. So the other thing I want to mention is we still have to do a Scream review. I will get to that. Bear with us, and we will do the Batman review without, I don't want to say without, probably with spoilers, just not today, but we will get to that. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. Everyone to know, you know, who's this rude celebrity? Alex Vincent. So hopefully he gives you a little bit more kindness and grace, and I'm sure that he would, and it's not just a bashing. I still think that the franchise is great. I hope they make another movie. I hope the series gets better. I hope all of that. But that's all I wanted to come on and say, and just give our opinion, because that's what it's all about when you do reviews. So anything else you want to say, or does that...
I really like Chris Sarandon.
I like Chris Sarandon a lot, too. I would love to see him on that. I loved him in Fright Night, too.
He was excellent in that, yeah.
He was really good. And also Princess Bride, which, no, that's not horror, but...
That's still one of my favorites.
I love Princess Bride. That's one of our favorites. We love that. As You Wish. That's right. That's what every guy should say.
Yeah, that's exactly what every guy should say.
If they want to be happy. So anyway, guys, I hope that you have a great night and that you enjoyed the short video, and we'll come to you more about Scream and about the Batman. So we'll talk to you very soon. I am the Devious Diva, and this is John. Have a great night.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.